joining me for another episode of What's That All About? So today I'm doing something completely different. I just rewatched one of my episodes from last week, the Bohemian Grove. Boy, I had I had a pole stuck somewhere that day. Sorry that if you watched it, I had quite the little attitude during it, and I apologize. Had to do something completely different. Had to go completely in a different direction, and we're going to be going to Japan, or off the coast of Japan for this one. This is the Devil's Sea. So it's known also as the Bermuda Triangle's twin or the Dragon's Triangle. Another triangle. Who knew? Now, it's also located in one of the 12 vital vortices around that there are around the Earth. And these are areas where the pull of the planet's electromagnetic waves are stronger than anywhere else on the planet. And as the name denotes, the triangle extends, as you can see in the picture here, between Japan, the islands of Bonin, and including a major portion of the Philippine Sea. For centuries, Japanese fishermen have been lost to waters in the Devil's Sea, but more recently, scores of modern ships and aircraft again, have inexplicably fallen victim to these dangerous waters too. And I mean, in the skies, they're going down just like over in Alaska, Bermuda. These triangles are horrible. All right. Anyway, now, some believe the disasters are due to extraterrestrial or paranormal forces, of course, because when have I ever done anything without that? Um, but they think that it's something below the waves because there's also things called USOs, which are unidentified submerged objects. So keep that in mind. One disturbing mystery is that there was the MV Derbyshire seen here. This ship was twice the size of the Titanic, and in September of 1980, it was sailing from Canada to Japan with a cargo of iron ore. Now, all 44 passengers on board, so which was 42 seafarers and two officers' wives, were lost. It was gone, disappeared. They searched, and it wasn't until June of 1994. Now, it's another picture here. This is not the wreck, though. That's not part of the wreckage. It's just a picture that they had as a like a dramatization, like of something, like an artifact that was found or something. But so the wreck was found at a depth of 2.5 miles down, and it spread across like 0.81 miles. That's a long, long debris field. Ultimately, it was determined that waves crashing over the front of the ship sheared off the covers of small ventilation pipes near the bow. Okay, so what happened was over a period of like 2 days, they estimate that the seawater entering the exposed pipes in the forward section made the ship sit lower and lower, and as you'd expect, because it was taking on like hundreds of thousands of gallons of seawater, and it made it vulnerable to the force of the waves. That in succession, it was like the first, second, and then the third and final cargo hold buckled under the pressure of hundreds of pounds of that water, and as it sank, the increasing water pressure caused the ship to twist and be torn apart. Can you imagine how awful? And then there was an implosion and an explosion. This is what investigations have said. The conclusion of a forensic investigation was that the ship sank due to structural failure. Wow, the crew was not found to be at fault. Well, geez, I'm sure wherever they are, they're grateful for that, but I'm sure they'd want to be alive if they had a choice. But most notably, okay, Douglas Faulkner, a professor of marine architecture and ocean engineering, he determined that the ship sank due to something called a freak or rogue wave. Okay, and terrifying, right? Look at that. Oh my God. In addition to Faulkner's conclusion, a sailor and author by the name of Craig B. Smith, he added that the ship was exposed to a hydrostatic pressure of a static head of water about 66 feet. Holy hell in a handbasket. In other words, a big ass wave. I mean, look at the pic. I just enormous. And the tragedies don't end there. Now, there have been combat aircraft that have gone vanishing from the skies on a perfect day. Like blue skies, nothing else going on, no lightning, no other aircraft, no anything. And they've just disappeared. That's insane. And the US Navy can't or won't confirm the reasons behind the disappearances of more than 20 submarines that went lost in the area in World War II. Over 20 submarines gone without a trace, never found. Now, it just wouldn't be a "what's that all about" episode if it didn't have some just high strangeness, right? So, according to Chinese fables or myths or urban legends, whatever you want to call them, there are dragons that exist below the surface of the water, of course, and they get hungry. And when the ships go passing by, they are pulled down so that they can satisfy their hunger. But that's a myth that goes back like well before the AD period. They say somewhere around 1000 BC. So that's talk about longevity of a myth. My goodness, I guess. And as you know, myths like this exist and they morph and they grow and they become more fantastical as time goes on and just kind of adds to the mystery, which is it's great for people like me because I find that stuff fascinating. But on the other side of the myth, though, there is science, right? So there are a few hypotheses out there that they attempt to scientifically solve the mystery of why these things are happening, just like they've tried to do in Bermuda, Alaska, everywhere else. So some scholars, like Ivan Sanderson, have suggested that it's the hot and cold currents crossing this vial vortice that causes the disappearance of vessels in the triangle. I don't know. According to him, their currents result in electromagnetic disturbances that trap the ships passing by. God, that sounds just terrible. Because it sounds like it's something that can happen just without any kind of warning. You can be going along and everything can be fine. And then you go past into this, just everything changes in an instant. I guess that's how it sometimes happens, though. Another hypothesis suggests that it is the subsea volcanoes that cause the disappearances. The eruptions could initiate accidents, sucking ships and crews into the ocean, all the way down to those really deep depths, like the Derbyshire, MV Derbyshire, was found 2.5 miles down. Like, that's absurd. That's just, holy crap. Now, whether you believe the science or the myth, it's witnesses have seen things being out there in the water, survived, but have survived to tell stories of seeing paranormal things in the air, below the water, things like that. But I mean, who knows? It's one of those things you'd have to see it yourself. That's how I am anyway, for the most part, unless I had some sick evidence that was legit. That picture of the dragon that I showed you is not legit. Let's be honest. It's cool looking. It ain't legit. Now, I am a believer in science. I do believe it, but I also keep a very open mind. So, I wish so many people hadn't gone missing. It's still a tragic story. It's fascinating to learn about, but it is, at the end of the day, it's very sad. But what do you think? You know, is it paranormal? Is it another Bermuda Triangle mystery? I don't know. But anyway, this one was kind of light. I had to lighten it up from last week. Again, if you saw the Bohemian Grove, I do apologize for my little tood. Um, I try not to let that happen again. So until the next time, stay happy and healthy and stay weird, okay? And you take good care. Bye.